the hell is up, my dudes? The hype is real. The hype is astronomical. Welcome to part 1 of a series that is going to document my journey through the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. Wow. I can already tell that this is probably going to be a wild ride. Might have bitten off more than I can chew, but you know, we're remaining optimistic. We're at week 1. I actually started this last month, fell off the wagon for like 2 or so weeks, and now we're back in it. So from today, I'm counting today as 7 days in the challenge. From now on, every day I will definitely try and at least get 30 minutes done on this comic. I think there is something very exciting about this challenge that just, 100 days is a long ass time. Like, that's almost a third of a year that you're just committing yourself to one thing, and I don't know about anybody else, but I am notoriously bad for starting things and then just never finishing them. So that's partly why I'm making this series, is so I can hold myself accountable, which is what the challenge suggests that you do, so that you don't just end up doing like a week's worth and then just never doing anything else ever again and just letting it die a sad death in a hole with all your other unfinished projects. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's kind of only one rule for the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge, which is that you need to dedicate at least 30 minutes minimum a day to making your comic. And really, that's it. I would say that the making videos every day to keep yourself accountable is probably optional. A lot of people probably don't have enough time in the day to do, drawing and then edit a video, especially if people are at work. That's why I am just going to upload a video weekly, show my progress for the week rather than every single day, because trust me, I probably won't do enough every day to justify uploading every single day. But every Sunday I'm hoping to upload a new part of this series, and I'll just document my experience and my journey and my progress through making the comic. And if you're wondering where the red-headed mermaid with the titties went, my recording software decided to goof, and only half of that footage was salvageable, so ended up having to go on to another character. But that's okay. At least some of the recording got saved, and you'll see the end product of that one at the end of this video. Though to be warned, there is mermaid titties, so if that offends you, cover your eyes, pet a dog. But moving on, I guess I should kind of talk about what I'm actually doing for the project. So the project is going to be based off of an old Celtic folktale called the Ben Varé. That's probably not how they pronounce it, but it's basically the story of a mermaid who really wants to not be a mermaid anymore, so she goes to this local fisherwoman and she's like, hey, help me not be a mermaid and I'll marry you, because that's just how life works. Original story wasn't gay, but then I thought, well, why not? Why isn't it gay? Why shouldn't it be gay? And so it's gay now, and it'll be a lot of fun just to draw these girls, kissing and stuff. So here I'm really just solidifying designs and stuff. Probably not necessary, you could probably just jump straight into your comic, but I like to have a proper idea of what different characters look like before I start drawing them repeatedly. Just as a reference for myself. But this was by no means the very first thing I did. This whole first sort of week getting into it started off obviously with the folk tale that I'm adapting, I guess you could say. I basically just took all the dialogue from it and put it in a Google Doc and then formatted it like a script so that I could easily visualize what was going to happen on each page. And then once I had all the dialogue edited, I definitely added a fair bit of dialogue because the way folktales are written, I suppose books in general really don't translate too well without a little bit of editing into a comic format. So I did a little bit of writing. And then after that, I did a whole bunch of thumbnails for what I thought each page probably looked like. You could probably spend a lot more time than I did. I barely even did variations on each page. I just kind of like made the outline of the page, put the panels in. If I didn't like it, I just scribbled it out. I know I only did that for maybe like 4 or 5 different pages. Most of the time I just stuck with what I put down, and yeah, reading it now that it's been a little while is kind of like trying to read hieroglyphs. Glad I put the little dialogue markers at the bottom of each page, otherwise I probably would not remember what the hell is going on in each of these pages. But yeah, so after that I did sort of sketches, really messy in my sketchbook, of each of the characters that are going to be in the comic. And then finally I moved on to this, rendering them in Photoshop and just really solidifying what I wanted them to look like. And word of warning for anyone who wants to try and adapt a book or something like that into a comic. The original short story that I'm basing this off of was maybe 8-10 pages long. My final product is over 50 pages, so keep that in mind if you want to adapt something. I think that I probably could have cut a lot of the pages out, but there was a lot I really wanted to show in the comic that isn't just dialogue, just scenes and expressions and things like that, which take up a lot of comic page when you're using one panel per object or expression or scene or whatever you want to stuff in there. And it is intimidating, you know. This is the first time I've really sat down and tried to make something of this scale. I've sort of dabbled in making sort of smaller comics before, but never anything that is its own fully complete little story, and it's incredibly exciting at the same time, but I know that this is going to be a learning process. I don't think the end result will turn out perfect, but I do think that I will learn a lot along the way about just how to make a comic and how to lay out the page so that the composition is nice, and how to guide the eye, how to figure out what's most important in a scene, what you should focus on, how to place the dialogue, bubbles and things like that. So I think it'll be really fun if I manage to stick at it, which I'm gonna hold myself to. I am not going to let anything get in the way of me finishing this. Comics have been something I've wanted to get into for a long ass time, and you know, I'm not getting any younger. Life is moving on, and not only will this help me create better comics, be the start of my comic career as it were, I think it will definitely help me improve in art as well. There's just a lot of things that you don't draw in illustrations that you have to draw for a comic, like backgrounds and interiors and poses, different poses, things like that. And funnily enough, I've already started planning some other comics I probably want to do after this. I don't think it's healthy to start a project and start getting wrapped up in your next project, but I do think it's incredibly motivating to think of your current project as just a stepping stone to improving and getting closer to the quality that you want to reach for your next project. Just thinking of each separate project as a stepping stone to the next big thing is incredibly motivating and really helps you stay positive when you're feeling not so optimistic or enthusiastic about what you're working on currently. I'm incredibly guilty of just starting something and then getting distracted by something that's new and shiny and wanting to go into that, but if you don't get any work done, you're never going to improve, and ultimately it just kind of leads to a sad cycle. Like I said, you just put it away in the bin where you put all your old projects and you never end up finishing anything. There is another artist here on YouTube. most of you probably know him, goes by the name of Jake Parker, who actually invented the concept of Inktober, which is a 30-day challenge where each day you make an illustration using inks and pens. But he made a video a little while ago called "You Need a Product, Not a Project," and I've really started thinking about that lately and taking it to heart, and I'm just tired of never finishing anything, so I'm gonna turn my life around, you know? We gotta get to it. We gotta work hard, we gotta make our shit, we gotta do art, we gotta snort cocaine. Maybe not that last one, but, you know, it's all about the mindset, and I think it could easily become addictive. Once you finish one thing, you just get addicted to having that finished project, and especially with comics, there's something that you can print out and hold tangibly in your hand and just read, which I think is what's exciting me most about making a comic, is just being able to hold it in my hands as a physical product and just be like, wow, I made this. So yeah, this upcoming week I'm probably going to start all the under sketches on the pages, just work through each page, doing a rough sketch, get all of the comic done that way, and then just go back and start refining it. I think I'm probably going to do it in layers, do the whole comic as a rough sketch, go back and clean up the sketch, then go back and do line art, and then color and add effects and just finish up, make it look nice and tidy and clean, and do all the word bubbles. So yeah, look out for that next week, and I'll see you guys then. Yeah. The hype machine is real.